The Soul Society.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Turntables activated.
The most versatile hip-hop radio station in the world.
You can talk about us, but you can't talk without us. Phenomenal radio. We are what radio should be. You could listen to one of those other stations, but what would your friends think?
Holy sh! Where'd you find this?
You're locked into the #1 online radio station.
Here we go! It's not that your radio sounds strange. You just found a station that plays what you like.
Phenomenal radio.
Radio just got a lot more fun. Thanks for listening.
We are what radio should be.
Phenomenal Radio, PhenomRadio.io, the most versatile hip-hop station in the world, where we take the power of the industry and put it in the hands of the independent. And we've done that musically for damn near 2 decades, but it's beyond music where we've evolved. This is global audio forensics, a global network of media, businesses, brands, everything you could think of that makes the world go round, encompassed in that. You can find us with our hands in it, productively building and growing with those who make things happen. I am your brother, at Slate Stone Music anywhere online. Hashtag the 1000 Network, 1000 Network. And that's just a beginning point to find a little bit about us. I'm going to pass it over to my brothers. We have a special guest in here with us on today. But I'm going to throw it over to DJ Despair. He's going to throw it up to Dick James, and Dick James is going to introduce our guest. Despair.
Man, I feel like I'm playing basketball right now. So, this is DJ Despair, straight out of Canada, between Winnipeg and Toronto, CEO of Street Killers Entertainment. Everything from we're on TV networks, from Hip Hop Television Network to the Hip Hop Network. Also, can be found on all Roku channels and everything. 20 different radio stations featured on Phenom Radio. Canadian diversion of Nerve DJs, Rough Riders, Woo DJs. The list goes on, from promotions to shows to bookings. I'm your boy in Canada. Holla at Shmire. Now we head out to Dick James.
What's good with everybody? Hopefully everybody's doing, fantastic on this Saturday afternoon, or Saturday evening it is, because I know the weather's crazy right now in some places. Like down south right now, it's gloomy, it's all rainy, but it's a little humid. It's not as cold as it was a couple of days ago. Out there on the East Coast, I know they swamped. It's iced out, it's snowed out, and also in the northern regions. I don't know what's going on in Texas. Dr. Stone will have to talk to us about that. Nevertheless, thank you as always for spending a moment of your time with us as we come around and we service the community and global internet. You know what I'm saying? I'm Timo James, for those of you who have not got on to us as of yet. I'm co-owner to KPTX Digital Broadcasters, Phenom Radio, the most diverse radio station on the planet. I'm also the CEO and founder of the Industry Plug magazine, which is a physical and online magazine servicing the urban community around the world. We have a vainglorious special guest today who's been around for a long time. Even though he may appear to be youthful in his presentation, he has he has the spirit and the wisdom and the wherewithal and the knowledge of Methuselah, which means he's been around. His soul, his spirit has tapped in this world prior to where we are today. And so I'm not going to say a whole lot more. I'm just going to say a few things for people who may be, in the background, peeking, trying to see what's going on. His name is Chris Jones.
Said it all. Said it all.
That's what his name is today. That's what he usually does when he gets on stage in front of audiences. But he comes from
Aliceville.
um, Alabama, and his career stems back 20 some plus years. He come from the era where urban comedy was really at the peak of everything, no matter where you were in entertainment. Comedy was right there at the top of it, not in the middle or mixed amongst it. Comedy was really the leading pillar for entertainment. Comedy, urban comedy used to be an outlet and a platform to cross brand, mix and break music for
Yeah,
genres of all ethnic backgrounds.
yeah,
And he comes from that era, like in the skit when we was promoting it, I remember because I saw Carlos and I remember you and Carlos both during that time, I promise, but it's been so long ago that sometimes it slips our mind. But in our skit that we've been advertising with you coming on, Carlos said, yeah, man, me and set it off with the last two on Def Jam Comedy.
no, it was it was one of the Def Jam auditions for one of the Def Jams that they brought back.
Right,
When they brought it back the last time.
right.
Yeah, yeah,
Man, that was a hell of a time and era because
yeah,
our people really dominated and comedy really dominated film, all other variations of entertainment, sports, um, you know, music. You just couldn't have anything with us entertainment wise without comedy. So sports, music, entertainment, comedy, and food and
yeah,
things of that nature have always gone together. So nevertheless, without further ado, the world, please welcome the one and only Chris Set It Off Jones. But it used to be called Smokey, y'all. This the
yeah.
original Smokey.
Yeah, well, I had to use my nickname at first, you know what I mean? That was like I was AWOL. I was AWOL in the Navy doing shows, really, you know what I mean? So that's what it really was. That's how I started doing comedy. But we talking back like 98, man, you know what I'm saying? So I can tell you the exact time. You just said something about, I guess I'm because you into the spirituality. We're all into spirituality because we spiritual people, but I am just getting into my spiritual timing. So much that I'm just starting to read the Alchemist book, but everybody who know me just swear I already read it. Failing to realize I'm on a real spiritual path. There is no reading when you're on a real spiritual path if you really actually finding your own, right? That's the closest we're gonna get to our ancestors. Now you can learn about other people, but you're gonna be learning about them going through the wilderness, finding their spirituality too, whether you read some Siddhartha books or whatever though. But I say that to say this. I just saw my brother Mike Epps on the Shannon Sharp interview, and he was talking about right before he went and did Next Friday. So I ain't mention him just to mention him. You know what I mean? I'm saying this because this is all verified. I was with Mike the day before he went and did Next Friday. Mike is the reason I turned myself in from going AWOL from the military. You know what I mean? He had went out to California, man, and did some shows out there, I guess, you know what I mean, and got up with Ice Cube. And when he came back, we all doing shows. Everybody was doing shows. I just started out right then at this point now. But it's comedians like Patrice O'Neal, you know what I mean? Patrice, like guys like Tony Woods, everybody that you see now from the Godfreys, you know what I mean? John Lasseter, Dean Edwards, guys that was on Saturday Night Live. You know what I mean? Tracy Morgan, you know what I mean? Tracy Morgan was doing Saturday Night Live at that time. But this time in particular, Mike was getting ready to go do Next Friday. I'm AWOL already. He knew I was AWOL, but he left for a couple of days. And I was just like, man, where the hell you been? He was like, man, I went out to California, man, handling some business. Though we ain't really talk about it that much, but something happened where my ID failed. And I think Mike didn't really believe that I was actually AWOL. I thought he was thinking that we were playing, because I got introduced to him from Deion Cole and Mark Simmons, from Chicago. And one of my ID fell out my pocket. My military ID fell out my pocket. I'm looking for it. Mike was like, man, what you looking for? I was like, I ain't looking for nothing. And he popped up with the ID, like, you looking for this? I said, man, get my ID. And that's when he got mad, like, hey, man, bro, what you doing, boy? They gonna lock your ass up. I was like, I know. That's why I'm going AWOL. I went AWOL to be a comedian. And Mike was serious with this, though. He was like, yo, man, just turn yourself in. I was like, I ain't turning myself in. Everybody going to at this time, people going to Comic View, you know what I'm saying? Bad Boys of Comedy wasn't out then for sure, but like BT Comic View was still going, but the Def Jam had stopped. And I was like, man, I'm about to get on one of these comic views or something before I turn myself in. And he was like, man, turn yourself in. You turn yourself in, man. I got a movie getting ready to come out the next Friday, Joe. You know what I mean? But when he said this, you got to remember, we only had Friday. So I'm like, well, wait, who's going to play Chris Tucker part? Nigga, I'm playing the part. Nigga, I'm getting my own part. I was like, man, get your ass out of here. But he was serious, dead serious. I swear to God, Mike went out and did the movie the next day, bro. I went back to turn myself in, and the process got longer than I expected, really, you know. And I thought I was going to get locked up for like 2 or 3 days or something like that, but they ended up being like a whole 1.5 year process of me getting out the military. So when I got out of the military, I got back to doing my shows, really, you know what I mean? And that's how it is in stand-up comedy. Like, you don't get to see the comedians during the grind. You see them after they come up on the grind or whatever show that it is, maybe, you know what I mean? But most shows that you see, I've been right next to comedians right while they was at those shows, from the comic views to the Who's Got Jokes, man, you know what I mean, to whatever, man, you know, all the comedians, we all know each other, from the Lil Duval to the T.I. right now doing shows now, really, you know what I mean, down in Atlanta. Like, but when y'all said something about urban and mainstream, that's what I like to be on, really, you know what I mean, because urban and mainstream, I think it's a made up facade, really, you know what I mean, because I'd rather just say black or white, because if we talking urban ain't actually a real place or a real people. We saw urban and Blockbuster and shit like that when they start doing stuff with the movies, right? You know what I mean? Like the urban section. And it so happened to be all the black movies. So we started thinking that urban may mean black. Well, that might have been true in 92. But now all these urban neighborhoods got white folks in them in Starbucks, and white people won't dare call themselves urban. They calling themselves urban now, but that was never a thing, really, you know? So I just think like the word for black comedy, I'll say that. I don't know about rap and all that other stuff. I'm gonna speak for comedy, stand-up comedy. On the stand-up comedy side, we ain't got no more than 4 white comedians that's probably over here. You know what I mean? That's headlining, you know. Gary Owens, you know, Ray Lapowski, you know what I mean? Like literally like certified. They ain't probably no more than maybe I'll say 20, you know what I mean? Just being nice saying 20, but they're not just working on the outside like that, you know what I mean? We got full-fledged headliners, features and all that. But on the white side, you'll see hundreds, if not thousands, of black comedians, you feel me, that are headlining, opening the shows, featuring for the show. They've been keeping black comedians been keeping these clubs going, you know? So that's what I mean. And I work on both sides, you feel me? I'm with my brother Carlos Miller. I'm blessed to be with some other comedians who are on a bigger level too. My brother Carlos Miller, you know him from 85 South and Wild and Out, but he got his own platform doing his own thing with movies or just popping up everywhere. Like that's the type of buzz that we came up on, really, you know. At the same time, I'm on tour with him now everywhere we go, really. Like not necessarily 85 South show, that's a separate entity. Those guys break off and do their own shows. And when Carlos do his own show, I'm the opener for his shows, but I'm not just a regular opener. I'm doing a lot of time, and really it's not an easy thing, really. It seems easy and you opening up for somebody, it sound good, but you actually going into a crowd that's tailored for somebody else, you know. Right. Now, usually I don't just do this, but I'm gonna go ahead and spread the love like it's supposed to be. Just like Carlos got an opener. Yeah, I'm his opener, but I ain't no opening ass comedian. I've been doing this. No different than Mike Epps. You see Mike Epps now, he got Henry Welch with him. Shout out to Henry Welch. That's my dog, really. You know what I'm saying? Henry's certified comedian. Or you'll see Dominique with her. Dominique do mainstream and urban. You see Lil Duval, you're going to see my brother Jay Ski with him, really. You know what I mean? You see T.I., you're going to see the Ha Ha Mafia with him. You know what I mean? All of us know each other. My brother K-Dub over there, Ronnie Jordan, you know, E. Duchess, Nav Green. Like, we all, like, are intertwined already. But that's the choice that we're making, to be intertwined right now, you know? It could easily be a I don't fuck with them niggas situation, but we all respect each other because we came up in this game, if that makes sense to you. I'm just a little not mad at my point in my career. I'm to the point now where I'm getting vindicated from what I did. So me going AWOL from the military, they gave me a bad conduct discharge. And, you know, basically I just been out here for over 25 years, but I'm right now in the process of trying to change my discharge over. I never gave a damn about it, but I didn't know I was suffering from PTSD because, you know, a lot of people say they got PTSD. What we really got is people diagnosing themselves. I've literally been clinically diagnosed with PTSD, and that really didn't sit well with me. And I don't think crazy people call themselves crazy. I think the people that people visualize as crazy are the people that try to act normal, you know what I mean? And then they end up looking crazy in front of everybody. You know what I mean? That's what
Let
I
me ring.
that's
Let
what
me
I
ring in
think,
with you on that part right there
I'm
because I
sorry.
am.
Y'all talking? Can you hear me?
Yeah, we
Yes,
can
sir.
hear you. Let me
Damn.
ring in.
Hold on.
Let me ring in with you on that part, because
My bad.
I am diagnosed with PTSD, 100%
Oh no.
from
Mm,
my military service, and so
yeah.
are my brothers. We're all pretty much, besides DJ Despair, we're all military veterans. Um, and
Man,
to
I feel
touch,
so much.
we're not
Come
crazy.
on.
We've experienced real trauma,
Yeah.
and when you do not get treatment for your traumatic experiences, at some point it's going to show up.
Yeah.
That's just
I
what
was
it
just about
is.
to, I was about to break down right now till y'all just said that, man. But I'm so thankful, man. I appreciate that, man, because I didn't know it really, you know what I mean? So you got to control it, you know?
I'm your
Yes, sir.
key. I'm your key at this point now that I know that, to helping you get your 100%
Yeah.
without having to go through the riff-raff. Okay? Because I just did it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
because
you know
ain't
what I
no
mean?
flex on that shit.
Yeah.
Listen,
And we're in the process of helping my brother Dr. Stone get his 100 because he should have been had it. However, we have people who are assigned to make sure that we stay ignorant to these facts because they know, or whatever the case it may be, it's a reality. But some of these people who are assigned to us as patients, they have animosity and they envy when they looking at some of those pay scales that some of us are about to be receiving for our medical conditions.
Yeah.
And some of us try to look at us like the cover of a book and judge us and have no idea what we've encountered or what we've had to go through simply by signing our name on that dotted line and having
Yeah.
to put the war as a priority before we put ourselves. So shout out to you. Shout out to Doc Stone. Thank you for
Yeah,
your service.
man.
And shout out to
Yeah,
our,
man.
our native brother, our, indigenous brother over in Canada, another
Yes,
part
sir.
of North America, that's actually living that experience, living that structure the way these so-called quote unquote $5 Indians live over here in North America.
I'm around some Indian territory up here. I was telling them, I asked them about when you get up here, these Indian territories, you get to the actually, this is the area that they should be more familiar with the Indian treaties, really. You know what I mean? Because everybody keep talking about Constitution. Since everybody talking about the Constitution now, I think it's time the world start to realize that what the world say is the Constitution, which actually seems like it's British and European, is actually an American Constitution. Am I right? Don't that come from like the Iroquois Treaty or something like that?
It's two of them.
Yeah, you know what I'm
Ours,
saying?
the original indigenous Americans, and of course the
Yeah,
Brits and the Utes. They're
yeah,
together.
yeah,
The
yeah.
Africans, or whatever you want to call it, we're the Moors, and they are the Moors, aka the dirty Moors. That's really what the difference is. That's the hidden hand, and that is the truth.
So when we think of Confederates, like with me just being from the South sometimes, we think about Confederate with Confederate flag. We actually putting that just with races in 1800. It's actually the Confederacy is what predates all of that. And it's real deal organization that was already here before Europeans basically. Okay. All right. All right. I'm just
It
explaining to everybody else too.
predates
You know what I mean? Like,
the
yeah.
American Indian War, or what is known as the
Yeah.
Civil War. And
AKA,
you,
now, that's the war that's still going on still that they rarely talk about, really. You know what I mean? That's
thank
the
you,
unexplained
thank
war,
you.
really. But
World
like I
War
said,
One, two, working on
yeah.
three, or working towards the story of three happening. You know how that goes. Yes.
Mm. So the type of Indians up here, we talking what? Shinecock Indians. I don't know if it's Shincock or Shinecock. I don't know the name of it, but I know that's the New York area.
Well, we the four corners right here, we kind of pretty much represent four corners in America. Even though he's in Canada, he's still a part of America.
Canada, then we go, then ain't all the black people that black soldiers that fought against the United States, ain't they in Canada?
Yeah, they're Nova Scotia.
Nova Scotia. So we talking Book of Negroes time here. We talking what, 1814 or 1820s, like 1814.
A lot of them migrated out there and from the underground. And
okay, all right. So that's from the war, 1812 then.
Yeah, and then you got different cultures out here, but then when you look at how, in Texas and all the different places, you'll have a mixture of both white and black. You'll have country scene, you'll have all these different stuff. Same thing out here, just that Toronto's more predominant, where there's certain areas are basically based off of the different Jamaican cultures, African cultures, all the different stuff. Structure in Toronto, but when you look at it, Winnipeg and the West Coast more, where I'm in between, you get less of that culture. Like you get one or two or three Caribbean restaurants, and the rest is just African or different types of different cultures, East Indian, everything. So you're basically mixed of everything. So it's not like how you be territorial in certain different parts of the states. It's like everybody's around each other working together, right?
Yeah, I know. But I'll just be wondering that Caribbean connection, how everybody there, like the Caribbean, y'all don't have or the Caribbean, y'all still y'all still have the British education. You know what I'm saying? It's the American education that they start ours with 1492, whereas the British, I think y'all will still get to talking about the Moors and stuff like that with y'all history, maybe. You know what I mean?
A lot of it you don't hear about it either. I had to learn that outside of American history and through my own stuff. You don't hear. I'll tell you, like, there's a lot of things that you don't like that is watered down out here that you would see from what you guys are learning out there. Like I was trying to explain, it's like certain cultures. If you're in Toronto, you're going to hear more Moors. You're going to hear more. There's an actual gathering of Moors in Toronto. I go to the actual
because they run in the market. Yeah, basically.
Oh, damn. Okay.
You know how like the meetings back in the days used to be held in bookstores and all that. The same thing goes on. Like
what we did down south in the churches and stuff like that, right?
To this day, it's still in the bookstores. It's still in the same thing. It's still.
We got that in Georgia too. You know what I'm saying? At a bookstore, like it's a bookstore called Madu Bookstore, and like I don't know how woke everybody is, but you know how I'm trying not to stop saying woke. I'm trying to just speak because we all gonna educate each other on what we know about what we saying all the time anyway. You know what I mean?
When people talk about woke, it's do you want to be woke? You can't tell everybody to actually understand the paths of things going on, because when it comes down to post-traumatic stress, if I didn't have Timo and Slate for a lot of things, I went through stuff with getting stabbed like years back, and friends, and going through music industry is just like going through war, street from the streets and all that stuff. Who do you get to talk to about these things? That people are just like, oh, suck it up or quit or da 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 da. No matter what you're going through in trauma in life, whether you're a street soldier, that's even worse at times, because you going to church, you going back in the streets, you got to protect the family. Like when you in war, you leave that out there. When you in those environments, especially a lot of you guys have grown up in that, where a lot of people don't look that every environment's different and everybody's story is different. So when it comes down to music, you can't tell me that I live the same way you do, or you didn't live the way you did, toking guns in Texas and all those different things, if you're allowed to. We can't do that here like freely, but in certain areas of the country, you guys grew up with guns since children.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like it's a different like concept when you got these kids mimicking the TV shows, a lot of the comedians that are pushing the limits on things and making jokes and stuff, but it's like it's not really a joke. There's a lot of things that really go down and certain stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Definitely. Stone, man, we got to hear you, Stone. I got to hear you, man. When you did that salute, man, hey, man, no, Timo, I did not know that that PTSD stuff was like that, man. You know what I'm saying? Like y'all seen that, man, before It happened right there, man. You know what I'm saying? I wish we went on this live to talk to y'all about it, but we're gonna
We're
talk
gonna
more about
chop
it.
it up.
But I
Yeah.
so appreciate y'all, man. That's
Yeah.
crazy right there, man. You know what I mean? I
Yeah.
never been around no other people like that, man, to know that that's what it be, man, really. You know what I mean? We got to understand it about it, though, you know?
Yes, sir. Yeah, and I appreciate you tapping in and sharing that with us, and being able to learn and grow with each other. A lot of times, sometimes I like listening. You know what I mean? Like how you were mentioning you were around certain people in your comic journey and building that legacy. All the people that we might have seen on the screen are right there. You was right there next arm in arm with them, right at the same venues. So you're receiving the energy and being in the atmosphere, you know what I'm saying, where you might not necessarily be right there in front of the camera, but you're still receiving. So sometimes I'll be feeling like that when I can hear you expounding on your knowledge and Brother James and Despair and y'all sharing that, and I'm sitting here just soaking it in and learning at the same time, So that's kind of where I sit at. But without any further delay, brother, what was it for you? When did you recognize your gift as far as making people laugh and being in a space where you knew you made people feel a certain way? When did you actually recognize that spark that you had that gift?
Man, I gotta say, since I'm gonna tell you since I was a kid, but literally since I was a kid, because I grew up in Alabama, small town, police and garbage man, same person, ringing off chicken necks, killing hogs, eating deer meat. So straight country. But at the same time, my people already migrated from Alabama and Mississippi. I'm on the Alabama-Mississippi borderline too. So I got people in Mississippi and Alabama as well. You know what I mean? Our people already migrated years before us already. So I'm one of the kids that went to Chicago in the summertime, or I went to Connecticut for the summer. You know what I mean? But when I went there, I stayed with my family. So I'm with my family that are basically my cousins, mom and dad, and my other cousins, mom and dad, who are older. I knew the story of them in Mississippi already. These people pick cotton, literally. People be talking about picking cotton like it's the 1800s. My folks really picked cotton in the 1970s, 1980s still. You know what I mean? That's how, like, where I'm from, that's where first case of voter fraud came from, with Maggie Bozeman, 1980. But I had a chance to visit everywhere, and I've always had the same amount of respect and the love for all of my cousins. And that's what I carried out to the world. So I always had the same energy and attitude everywhere. But when I got in the military and decided to do the comedy, I just knew I was funny to everybody. In the military, you got a little bit more, you got white, black, we even got Chinese and Mexicans in the military. You know what I'm saying? So it's like the military is a real different multicolored cultured place. But once I had the gift to make all of these people laugh too, that's when I was like, all right, well, this might be for the world. I thought I was just making black folks laugh type of stuff. And I just went out and did comedy. I didn't just go to the first comedy club. The comedy club actually came to me. I met my homeboy messing with this chick, and she had a cousin that do comedy. And her cousin name was Coco Brown, a woman named Coco Brown. She had a comedy show up in DC, you know what I mean? And she came down to Virginia, Newport News. That's where she's from. Her and Mike Tomlin and them went to school together, you know. And when I met her, we sat down, played a game of spades. You know, we got a chance to check each other's gifts, you know what I mean? And she was like, man, you want to try to do this comedy? Now I'm talking to a real life comedian. And I was like, hell yeah, I'll try it out, but I'm real scared. But I didn't know, like I say, didn't even know it was the PTSD all of that time. So I went AWOL and went to my first show, man. And even at the first show, I can't be one of those people that just like, oh yeah, man, I wasn't scared of nothing. I'm telling you, I was scared to death, man. You know what I mean? Because now I'm like, I'm about to leave the military just to try to do some comedy. You know what I mean? Ain't no internet right now. You know what I mean? This ain't no clout. This ain't no me just doing this for no people to see. This real life. And when I went to the show, didn't know what to expect. It's my first comedy show. It was in Washington, D.C. Cat named Skiba, Alex Scott, Kevin Anthony was the headliner. I think Mike Brooks was there. But Coco hosted. She brought me up. As soon as I went on stage, man, I rocked out like about 15, 20 minutes and just did a hell of a job. And I wasn't trying to just crack the jokes. I was literally being myself right then. As soon as I did that, I said, oh no. I literally was just being myself, you feel me? And they think it's a good set. So what's gonna happen when I really do the stuff that I really wrote down now? You know what I mean? And I just found out I'm a natural comedian. Before, people like to say a lot of comedians are smart and funny. I'm a comedian now. A lot of comedians seem like they smart and funny now because they probably took from other comedians, you know what I mean? But if you can create, you'll stay creating, you know what I mean? Your gift and your character will show. Well, that's why I don't really fear no other comedians. This is a real gift you got to have from God for real. So I might not be on the level like other people, but I'm here with them, you know what I mean? I've seen my jokes go to the next level, you know what I mean? And no need to say nothing about them because that's what people are like, oh, you wrote this, you wrote that. Well, if you wrote it, you got some stuff for yourself, really, you know what I mean? So It's like, I'm comfortable in my gift, I'm cool in my gift, and I'm glad I've been on the road to prove my gift to my peers already, you know what I mean? The respect is there. If you see me, you seen them, they mention me, you'll see how we all respect each other, you know what I mean? The work that you put in still don't go in vain, really, you know? I used to think it did, but I'm just so patient now, man. I wonder if the military did it too, you know?
Right. And thank you for sharing that. That leads me into my
I really just
question.
don't know though, you know?
Yes, sir. You mentioned impatience and not knowing, gaining the respect from your peers and having that, but not knowing, you know, if you're on the right path or whatnot, but exercising that patience. My question is, how was it for you? You mentioned the Alchemist book and being a spiritual being, you know what I mean? And coming into some realizations now where you are versus then. So my question is, can you share how that process works for you or was working for you, recognizing that you had to play your position or accepting the fact that I'm here among these peers and these this and this and this and this, but I'm on my path. How was that for you? Can you share a little bit about that?
Man, it's like being confident. It's like when we hooping, when we hooping, you know what I'm saying? We know how we hooping with each other, really. You know what I mean? We're doing comedy shows every night, really. You know what I'm saying? So it's not like I'm just blurting it out there. It's like the improvisation, you know what I mean? The improvisation that I'm coming up with, the jokes, the roasting that we're doing with each other, really. You know what I mean? Like to stay performing in front of the comedians that you know, really, you know what I mean? It's a different type of tenacity, and we see it from each other. Like, rest in peace to my brother, Patrice O'Neal. Y'all might have seen him on a special called Elephant in the Room. But Patrice is a very, very great comedian. You know what I mean? He passed away now, but I have to mention him because you didn't get to see them. And that is sort of what it's like for me. You know what I mean? I get to see my friends that were operating at a high level that the world may have seen and still not seen on the highest level, you know? No different than comedian Tyler Craig. That used to be like, now the moral of the story is, in our community, we held him high because we seen him on the comic views, but I think the world would have loved him to see him a lot more because he had a lot of intellect too. Sometimes it's the spirituality in the comedian. It's what's inside that comedian that make it something for the world, I think, not just the jokes. If that makes sense. Hello?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That makes sense. It definitely makes sense.
But I ain't feeling no comedians, man. I've been up here with the best of them, baby. Shit, shout out to all of them, though, man. You know, I know them all. I like Monique, though, nigga. I got to give Monique a shout out because Monique put me on her show. I did the Monique show twice, bro. You know what I'm saying? I had to do it twice. And I did it twice because the first time I did it, they didn't let me on. They didn't film it. I mean, they filmed it, but it was only an exhibition film. It was only for, you know, to just see how the show runs. And I got mad because this is supposed to be my first time on TV. You know what I'm saying? And I didn't got dressed up and shit, you know, and I'm in the green room. I'm about to sign the paper for the check. And luckily, there's another black man in there too. Monique, her set, all black folks though, dog. You know what I'm saying? I got to give it to Monique, man. All black people in that bitch. You better believe it, baby. And the guy that was doing it when I was signing the paperwork, he was like, "Hey man, you good, man? You know this the copyright stuff." I said, "I don't care about that. I got jokes, bro. You know what I'm saying? I got jokes to give away and still get on." And he was like, "Yeah, but they ain't gonna show this." Because I said, "Man, I get to see this, man. They ain't worried about nothing. My grandmama and them, everybody in my hometown, they gonna get to see this, man. When I come out here and they say I'm from Aliceville, Alabama, everybody in my town gonna get to see this, man. I'm gonna inspire everybody." And he said, he just looked disappointed. And I said, "What's wrong, man?" He said, man, they didn't tell you. I said, tell me what? He said, they're not going to air this. I said, I know you goddamn lying. Shit, they going to air this or we going to tear this bitch up. Shit. I was like, hey, boy, because I didn't went for it too long. I was 10 years in now, dog. You know what I mean? And I said, nah, bro, because this is the second season of Monique. And I didn't do it the first season. And I found out that the comedians who were putting the other comedians on, we all know each other, just like I said. So I got to a point where, okay, now, everybody done had a turn, and y'all act like I ain't that nigga. Okay, now I got to show y'all and go up to the place, because the people who did the Monique show, I went up there with them already, and I didn't go up there with them to get on the show. I went up with them to support them, because that's what you do when you're a real comedian already. If they're your friends already, dog. I post my friends and all of that, bro. And I end up running up on another person, and they the ones that introduced me to Monique, and they brought me on the show. And when Monique said that, and I went on the show, ripped it, me and a woman named Georgia Me. She's a poet, and a band called Grits Jelly Butter. We all still doing good to this day. She said that, she said, man, you just filmed TV. You don't feel good about it? I said, yeah, I feel good, but I found out, I heard y'all wasn't gonna air this. I heard y'all wasn't gonna air this show. Nigga, Monique looked at me and said, nigga, we ain't. I said, she said, but I tell you what, baby, I'm still gonna bring you on here, baby. I'm gonna bring you back. I was like, man, I ain't trying to hear that, man. She was like, hey. I was like, man, she said, what's wrong with you, boy? And I said, man, I said, I'm gonna tell you like a real comedian. I said, I feel like these folks been hating on me. And Monique said, God damn it, they have. And they've been hating on me too. And she literally looked at me seriously, said, I'm going through something right now, baby. You think I'm lying? Called her husband right over there, and the husband talking. She's like, baby, this is Chris right here. You know what I'm saying? I told this man I'm going to bring him back. He did a good job right now. You know what I'm saying? But I let him know. He said he's going through hate. I let him know we going through something bigger than that, baby. You know what I'm saying? So I never turned my back on Monique for nothing. You know what I'm saying? Because I know it's power in that somewhere, really. You know what I mean? Whether the rest of the world get with it or not, really. You know what I mean? Sometimes you can be loyal to people that showed you love, really. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nothing wrong with that, really. You know what I mean? Sometimes we need people to show you, we need people that got looked out for some people to come up and speak for them, because sometimes that's what it take, really. You know what I mean? Start asking these niggas, how you feel about that Monique shit? When that shit went down, you'll see a lot of people that was like, man, ain't nobody trying to fuck with Monique. Turned out she wasn't lying about the shit that she was saying. You know what I mean? So I'm at a point where I ain't under the industry standards. I'm purely a man that has been in my craft, man, and if I spiritually feel like I don't want to do this, I'm not going to do this. You can't make me do shit right now. You know what I mean? I'm speaking truth. Hell, this is a whole podcast. I wanted to come up here and talk about how black people is really the indigenous Indians, but we ain't had that much time. I wanted to come here and talk about the Moors, but I can't explain the Moors like that, so I got to do it fast. For those of y'all that don't know, the Moors are the African inhabitants that went into Spain and civilized the Europeans. And the year was 711. That's what some people say with the soldier Tyreek. But I went to Spain, went through the Straits of Gibraltar. And when I went there, it was actually the year 710. And a black man named Tariff had an army that came through there. That's why people still pay the tariff today. So the tariff that people pay is named after a black man. It took civilization of Europe, got Europe out of a whole dark age. You know what I mean? I even wanted to come up here.
And they added 1,000 years on to the timeline.
I even wanted to come up here and talk about how the Egyptians are black, since we got these streamers now, and the biggest streamer is over in Egypt right now, and they talking about a nose getting knocked off. You know what I'm saying? This is the time for us to talk about whatever. But I ain't come for all that, so I just came to fuck with y'all. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, we just pass it over like that. That's how my gift is. You know what I'm saying? My grandmama pregnant. I got a baby shower in 2 weeks, so you know that's what I do. Yes, sir. That we can't just have that conversation like we want to have, because people think that we're talking ourselves out of our own situation. When people say, man, black people got to stop talking about how we in this position that we in because of slavery. Well, can't we say that white people are in the position that they are in because of slavery also?
Right.
Because that's the truth. So we need to address it like that. That's all.
Straight up. You right about that. And I ain't even finna go in there. But DJ Despair, it's on you.
I love this, bro. I do comedy shows at churches, bar mitzvahs. Man, bro, I'm telling you, when I do shows at churches, I'm really in the pulpit. So when I'm in the pulpit, I'm asking where the pastor at. You know what I'm saying? This your church, pastor? Where you at? Pastor right there. Like, you went to theology school, didn't you? Yeah, I went to theology school, then good. You ain't got no problem with me coming up here doing the show. And if I so happen to come up here and talk about the good ship Jesus, I don't know if people know what the good ship Jesus was, but that was one of the first slave ships from Great Britain.
Right.
Yeah, you know, I heard that boy John Hawkins or something like that, but that's neither here nor there. I say that because
you know what?
that we need to be having.
And you know what? And y'all correct me if I'm wrong, but since we on John Hawkins real quick, I was raised in the church, right? Most of us down south is raised in the church. My mother My mother was Church of God in Christ, Pentecostal, and she was raised. My grandma had 18 kids, and my mother's favorite song was "Amazing Grace."
Woo.
And when you look that up, right, when you look up the origin of that and you find out the true origins, the John Hawkins and the good ship Jesus, and him thanking God for getting his slaves over here on that ship through the storm, you know, and we just singing a song and feeling, I mean, you know, we spiritual people, but when I realized that, like a lot of stuff we do, we just don't even realize why we do it or where it came from. But I just wanted to mention that because you got on the good ship Jesus, and I wish I could tell my mom, you know.
That's my certification, man. But we still, don't get me wrong. I just went to my ATM church. I still go to my church. My church is right across the street from the federal prison. You know what I'm saying? Now the prison wasn't there when I got baptized at that church. The prison is there now. Yeah. And I think God calling me there to go back and save them women when they come out that prison. You know what I'm saying? That's what I think. He want me to save them ladies. That's what I think.
That's what it is. He will always want the ladies to be saved because that's the only way we're gonna have a future. You understand what I'm saying?
Man, I love
the way they want the agenda on us, that if we don't have them, then we don't stand a chance. So we got to have them. That's how we got here. You understand what I'm saying? We got to have them. If we don't have them, we not even here right now. You know what I mean? So yeah, let's shield and protect them and raise the standard and the bar and the levels and the frequency on them as much as we can.
So now that you touched on that, what was your most like fan groupie experience on the road? Like one of your funniest ones?
Funniest group experience. Let me see. Oh man. Let me see. I think when I first started out, I was in New York, you know what I mean? And a lady had just got out of prison and she did like 10 years. And I didn't know that she was serious about being out of prison. You know what I'm saying? And I was just like, man, you a little aggressive, man. You know what I'm saying? You dyking? You know what I'm saying? That's what I was calling it then. You know what I'm saying? I was like, what, you dyking or something? You know what I'm saying? Like, you act like you're more bolder than me right here. You know what I'm saying? She was like, nah, I just did time. I didn't know she said she did time. You know what I'm saying? I'm thinking she was like, you know, I needed time or whatever. You know what I mean? But anyway, she get to talking about she been to prison and I end up fucking with her. You know what I'm saying? But then her old dude that she used to mess with, you know what I'm saying? I said, you used to mess with her. Why is you looking like you messing with girls? You know what I'm saying? That you out of prison. She said, I started like when I was in prison. You know what I mean? But anyway, we got into it in Canarsie up in Brooklyn. I got into it with these gangster ass dudes, you know what I'm saying? Because she owed them some money. But I don't really want to talk about that right now. I'm married now, you know what I'm saying? And I'm saved for the Lord, really. You know what I'm saying? So they ain't nothing but the Lord, you know. I just had to give y'all the story though.
Okay. So now
I don't really mean to do this right now. Timo know we family. Timo, I don't know if you know this or not, but this just came through the I gotta make arrangements. Something just happened to somebody in our family. I'm gonna have to make arrangements. When I get off the phone with y'all, I gotta make arrangements for my uncle.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
but he ain't dead or nothing like that. We found out he's pregnant. This is my uncle that used to be my auntie right here. You know what I'm saying? So it's a different situation. You know,
Henrietta.
Yeah, I had to bring the comedy back right quick for y'all, right quick.
No doubt. Let me go. Let me go blow my nose, man.
Man, Canada, I didn't know the black people in Canada made hockey, man. I did not know that. Is that true?
Man.
It's true.
I don't know if it's true, but there's a lot of black people who played hockey.
Nova Scotia, they the first one. Now we made that run. I'm telling you, bro. We get credit for that.
Hey, listen, I've heard it. I just don't contemplate it, and I ain't gonna argue with a lot of people because I still gotta
because it ain't that what's understood don't need is already understood. Yeah.
No,
you ain't lying.
You gotta understand. We can start on peanut butter. We can start on heart surgery. We can start on brain surgery. Where you know,
who was the first heart surgery? The first heart surgery was from Chicago, right?
Yeah, and then the other first brain surgeon was I can't remember where he was.
Ben Carson. When it Ben Carson gets some for credit for being a neurologist on something. I don't know what it is.
Well, yeah, he performed the surgery, but it was taken credited by
Get out of here.
This is the world we live in. There was a movie. There was actually a movie with Mos Def in it. About
what?
That.
Get out of here. You talking about 16 blocks?
No, it was like a whole like old school. It was actually a whole like story of that, like the surgeon and everything and all that, and how that came about.
Yeah, Mos Def changed his name. He went Moorish on us. He went straight Moorish on us, and they told him he couldn't come back. That nigga said, "I'm Mos Def again."
Did what he had to do.
Right.
Oh, Bayo. He went Bayo on there.
When we talked about the Moors, though, for real, though, brother, I when I went to Spain, I had a chance to go over there to the Alhambra. You know what I mean? You know, the Alhambra, that's supposed to be like the last palace that they had over there. So, and I'm over there asking the tour guide like questions. I'm trying to drill the tour guide like, so did the Moors build this? She kept trying to act like she didn't hear me, but everybody got the earpiece on and we could understand each other's language, you know. So I said, so my wife with me, you know what I'm saying? She's like, go ahead, tell them, baby. I said, so y'all don't want to tell us what's going on here? So we go into the back room that Christopher Columbus was at. And they trying to make it all a big experience. Like, this is where Christopher Columbus met Queen Isabella and got permission to go to the New World. They were celebrating stuff around here. I said, what were they celebrating? She turned around. She said, I'm tired of this nigga. She said, they were celebrating a whole lot of stuff. I said, I know what they were celebrating. Now, remember now, these are people from different countries here, schools and everything. We all had the earpieces in so we can understand each other. She said, didn't tell us what they were celebrating. I said they were celebrating the death of the Moorish Empire here. And she said, and when was this? I said, January 1st or January 3rd, 1492 to be exact. Am I lying? And then one other scholar was right there. He said, he's not lying, you know. He had like a little Irish accent. And I said, so when you're telling people about Isabella, I don't even know if Isabella was a damn woman. But
right.
I just had to say that. You know what I mean? Just acting like she was ugly, just that ugly like that. You know what I mean? But her and Ferdinand, this is a conversation for the whole world, because if they're starting our history in the United States with 1492, then they won't even go back 1 week. Just going back 1 week would change the trajectory of our whole education system. You know what I mean? Going back to the mill, ruling that building, dog. You know what I mean?
Well, when I was in Sicily, I was sitting in one of the houses. And I saw,
come on with it.
You see the statues, you see all the different things and all this stuff. But to most people that are ignorant, they'll look at it as a blackface aspect. And then this is how, with the turban and the dark face, that's how it was presented when they came and landed on in those areas. So they celebrate that out there. And a lot of people do not know that there's actually a parade celebrating the Moors where everybody dresses up as Moors.
Oh, I didn't know that. I thought that was blackface cosplay. You know what I'm saying? That's what I thought it was, because that's what it was looking like right there. But I
was sitting in the house and one of the Airbnbs, and I'm looking around and I see the news, I see all these different things. And I'm like,
you know what? That'll be good since they're followers of history. But if we can just get these people in America to put black Actually, we got a situation like that happened at the Boston Tea Party. Now, y'all remember the Boston Tea Party is when they threw all the tea into the bay. You know what I mean? But they all snuck up on the bay, and everybody dressed up as Indians. Remember? They said they dressed up as Indians. Did y'all know they put black shoe polish on their face?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Now, what kind of Indians would put black shoe polish on their face? You feel what I'm saying? This is a real conversation right here that got to be had right here. But when you talk about Sicily, I'm thinking about Hannibal when he went there. We get to talk about Carthage or something like that, really. You know what I mean? But that'll be like 200 BC. But like I say, education-wise, this would be the Punic War. So for all the scholars out there, your history teachers, the Punic War time, we talking 200 BC. Black people ruling places. You know what I mean?
But if you don't travel, you won't know these things or learn anything and all that. Because going to different countries, you get to learn different things. You see, some people need to understand is that our culture is more respected in different places, especially when it comes to hip hop. I'm hanging out with a bunch of guys who showed up, plain clothes, t-shirts, jeans, and everything. Came, picked us up to go back to the venue, and they got baggy jeans on, do-rags, basketball jerseys, baseball jerseys. And then they're in there breakdancing and having a great time. And I'm sitting there just like, this is a bunch of Italians. Barely any black people around. There should be like 2 or 3 black guys I see. Like, you know, it's like, but that's how I like that out here in Canada. So when you're out there, it's good to see the culture lives and they support it and the love for it in the same way that goes from comedies. You'll see bins of like VHS of different movies, comedies, all different things just sitting there for the community just to share.
Well, I will say this, the way that that side looks up our old stuff, you know what I'm saying? I'll be wanting to look up their side, you know what I'm saying, of the stuff really, you know what I mean? That's why I'm trying to trade information across the coast with each other. I'm fluent in the history of everything, man, but I just really want that conversation of our diaspora to have a real serious conversation and us not to fault each other at all, really. You know what I'm saying? To have that real conversation, because that's what everybody wants. Everybody wants some type of closure, really. You know what I'm saying? But there is no closure for what we're going through. That's a trauma that we just haven't addressed. So why not all just address it together? You know what I mean? Like we should, really, you know? It's
funny that you brought that up, because I've had this conversation with a few people and I was explaining it to someone and they're Googling it and looking it all up, and they're sitting there going, get out of here. That ain't real. Like,
it's a fear factor, man.
Right? And then all of a sudden, you know, I'm sitting here having a conversation with you. You bring up something that, yes, I know something about it, but you never know that some people will tell you, why do you know that knowledge? And I go, sometimes it comes up at the right time.
See, okay, so I didn't know that. I didn't know that. I didn't know that. I thought that everybody, when I saw people there talk about like master teachers and scholars and stuff like that, I thought that I was supposed to learn about all of the scholars. I didn't know that, like some people be like, yeah, I like Chancellor Williams, you know what I'm saying? And I like Francis Cress Wilson. Well, you get some people like, well, I like Dr. Ben and I like John Henry Clark. But then you get some people that like, well, I like Jacob Carruthers, you know what I'm saying? And Check Out the Joke, you know what I'm saying? And I'm like, I ended up learning about everybody because that's what I thought we were supposed to do. So my knowledge ended up getting extensive, really. You know what I'm saying? From Ivan Van Sertima to all the way down to, because they used to come to New York to this thing called the Slave Theater. And I ended up meeting Dick Gregory, and Dick Gregory introduced me to a man named Alton Maddox. Alton Maddox was the lawyer on the Al Sharpton case when Al Sharpton had them fraud charges. Al Sharpton had like 60-something fraud charges before the Tawana Brawley case. Now, remember now, I'm in a place with the gathering and they're older people. They told me that, they asked me, Dick Gregory got up there. He said, how many of y'all heard about the Tawana Brawley case? Nobody said nothing. And I'm looking like, what the hell are they talking about? And Dick Gregory said it again. He said, I'm going to say it again. We're doing this to see who knows. Let me clap if you heard about the Tawana Brawley case. Then everybody clapped. I said, what's going on? And then he said, now clap if you heard she lied about it. And everybody clapped again. You know what I mean? And then he said, well, I'm telling y'all she didn't lie about it. Tawana Brawley case was the case about a girl getting kidnapped in 1980, something like that up in New York. And Al Sharpton was supposed to have been on the case. But like I said, Alton Maddox was Al Sharpton's lawyer, and he was on that case. But Tawana never lied. Al Sharpton she said that somebody else They said that she lied. Tawana never lied. This came out of her mouth herself in a meeting with Dick Gregory. And I'm not telling you just take my word for it. That's why Dick Gregory explained to me. Rest in peace to Dick Gregory, man. I didn't know it was going to be like that, but I guess it is. He said, we all here today because we fight for black rights. And when he said we fight for black rights, this is one black case right here. But you might be thinking, well, we can just let one black case go. He said, no, the hell we ain't. Because if we let one case go, we might as well let all of them go. This is a continuous struggle. We ain't started with civil rights. This started with the liberation of black people way before anything about civil rights came up. It ain't supposed to be civil rights, it's supposed to be human rights in the first place. But these are the type of situations that I've seen, and I didn't see other people that was going to say nothing. So I said, well, I say something because I don't have no problem with speaking the truth to people who want to speak the truth, really, you know. Now, I ain't saying I'm the best guy in the world or nothing like that, but I keep it real, you know what I mean? I'm telling you what I experienced, you know.
Yes, that's why you here. We embarking upon that time. And you are a comic, you are a comedian, you are Mr. Funny Guy. We like to book you and bring you to Dallas Fort Worth. We got 2 venues, March 14th, March 15th, and that's gonna be our beginning of our phenomenal, radio comedy series. And so, hey, I just wanted to get you on live because we like to do improvisation or improvisation. Improvise. And we like to let people see how sometimes things happen in real time. So that's the reason why it happened like that. Other than that, I'd have been texting the shit out of you, calling the shit out of you, harassing the shit out of you. Cause I need that show now. Don't fuck around now. Me and Doc now. We out there in Texas now. We're working to get to Canada. Now let's go now. I need that. Been on you like a hog, need this slop. You feel me?
Man, I got it. I just got to check the tour schedule, man. They got this tour going on and they put me on a couple of days on the tour. I just want to because if I can't do it that day, I'll make sure I do it the next available date that I can still. But this is just popping off right now, literally, man. But you know damn well I'm finna come play, man. You know I'm finna come, bro. What you talking about? I got a booking and I got my stress down. Do you know what I'm gonna do on that stage tonight? I promise you, this is the first time I can go on the stage. And I ain't feeling what I'm feeling. When I go on the stage, Stone, that's all I'm seeing tonight, Stone. It's over with, man. You know, I hate large crowds, man. You know what I'm saying? I hate them. But
your boy says, tell you what's up, man. He say he looking forward to seeing you soon. DJ Unique, Lost Boys DJ.
Yay! What up, G? What's going on, man, bro? I know so many people, bro. That's one thing you can see on this social media with people who put in the grind before social media. You can see how many followers somebody got, but you can't see they real fans. And I don't even like to call people fans. I like to call us our people, really. You know what I mean? That's what made me like Facebook more. You got friends on Facebook, really. You know what I'm saying? But Instagram is followers. We don't need followers. We need leaders.
Right. This the pipeline right here set it out. Texas, Mississippi, Canada.
Yeah.
Everything in between and around it.
Yes, sir.
So this is how we going, and this is what we want to do. It's gonna be a part 2 because we got so much more that needs to be said. It's not just about comedy; it's about information. And together, collectively, when we collaborate, we offer so much. So we look forward to seeing you soon. You got anything that you want to announce? Website that you want to send the listeners, viewers to? Anywhere you want them to tap in with you and engage with you.
We've been on the greatest podcast. Y'all can check me out on social media, on Instagram, TikTok at Chris Jones Funny. That's my tag right there. Right now, man, I'm getting ready to embark on a whole nother tour. I ain't even signed the paperwork for it yet, really. You know what I mean? So, but this 2026, I'm about to be out here a lot more. Y'all can catch me on that Nick Cannon. We playing Spades show that he did. Me and him, Carlos Miller, we sitting down. That's really like a good thing now. I'm transforming from TV now to just visualization, period. So y'all catch me on that Nick Cannon. We playing Spades podcast. Got my own podcast. Y'all check out this podcast. And one more thing, Timo, you more than spiritual. You remember when you told me we're going to be doing this? And you said, cuz when y'all on the road, we just going to call you, bro. We just going to hook up and let the world know how we connect for real. Cuz I appreciate you. I thank you for real, cuz. You hear me? You made me believe in myself even more. Yeah.
I love, cuz that's how we do it.
Follow my people, man. I'm gonna be promoting the hell out of everything that y'all got, brother. I promise y'all that, man. You hear me?
Likewise, brother.
Already, family.
I'm smart as hell. You don't need to see this. It's going down.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
So
sir.
look, we got Gucci purses with lowercase G's and capital G's. Ladies, we gonna send them. They going on sale. You hear me?
All right, brother.
Peace.
Man. Peace.
Peace.
Who's calling me?
The most versatile hip hop radio station in the world. Phenomenal Radio.